Okay,
let's start with another intro. Okay. Welcome to Middle Table Talks.
Introduction.
Yeah, it's Middle Table Talks. Coming at your ear holes.
Just go for it.
Hello and welcome to Middle Table Talks. I am Joseph Edwards, and with me today are Fraser Summers and Jamie Elkins. I say today, but as always, feel free to say hi, guys.
Hello.
Cool. Now, for today, we are talking about religion. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So, this is a podcast which is being made because we three are all media students at Blue Coat School.
Yes,
this is
that
true.
Is correct.
Yeah, and this is part of my coursework. So please enjoy it or don't. Anyway,
I recommend you do.
Yeah. Hit us up, guys. Religion. That is today.
Religion.
What do we see as the point of religion?
Religion, for me, is a blanket over society. It blinds us of the true necessities of our life. It is just a social way of understanding the world, but not a correct one.
Okay. Just to clear this up, we are all atheists.
Very atheist.
Good start to a talk about religion.
Yeah, but we
varied opinions.
Yeah, which is what makes this
but
so
we're
fun.
here to discuss.
We are. But this is a Church of England school, so we are enforced.
I believe it's correct in saying we were all brought up in Christianity.
Well, we talked about it earlier. We both came to this school
Christians.
More Christian than we are now.
Like, I would say I was Christian when I came here.
I was doubting.
And then over time...
Probably more of an antichrist right now.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were like... I don't remember what they said in Cathedral Service. But I was like... What's the... That was it. What's the school done for you? Like, faith slides. And I was like... Well,
taken away.
It's made me atheist, so that's a good start.
Do you think you're atheist or greater agnostic? Because I feel great agnosticism is something that's often looked over. Greater agnostic is when you can't say whether... You don't know if there is something, and you think no one can know if there is something.
See...
Well, I think it's true that none of us can, for sure, know.
Yeah. I'm simply atheist because I don't believe the reasons put forward by non-atheists is good enough for me. I mean, I guess, there's that argument that God must be evil and not knowing anything cannot be loving at the same time. But maybe there is an evil God.
Okay.
Maybe we're just looking at it wrong. Maybe he is evil. And I guess maybe if that was true, maybe I were agnostic.
There is a belief, I can't remember what it is, but there is something out there that says that the God that created this universe is like a deranged child god.
I've heard
and
that.
All the other gods are more divine and godlike, I guess, in the Christian sense of the word.
Christian.
Thank you for hitting those buzzwords, Jamie.
We're like a first try.
Yeah. And they just...
Not very good first try.
No.
Full of many flaws.
But other people, they can be religious.
Very religious. I think that's okay.
I think what I find interesting is the idea that the idea of a god is always portrayed as human.
Yeah.
We're not being a human, but it's portrayed...
It's human form.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you're in like Islamic belief, they don't write down the word God because they don't think it's worthy of being written down. I don't think I think it's the Jewish community that don't actually know the word for God. I think it's just unknown to them because it's just too incomprehensible.
Some religions treat a god almost in the way that we treat Father Christmas.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
kind of like a mystery dude with a big beard.
Yeah.
He's very nice to us all.
Yeah.
We've got to be nice to impress him.
But then we only pretend for like a week before Christmas that you're actually good.
Yeah.
And then you get like Judgment Day and then I gave that man 50p,
I've been good this year.
I've been good this year.
I did Sundays. Sundays existed, so I must be religious. Is that what they think?
saw-
Say anything?
Random kind of thing, but there's an episode of Futurama.
Yeah.
Where have you seen? It's the one where Bender basically becomes like he's flying through space by himself,
Flying.
and then like he has like a whole like
with the
community growing on him, and he
Community.
basically
He's got
like
one on his
becomes
front
their
and his
god.
back.
It's great.
He just
And
ruined
then
them.
he meets the creator of the universe, which is basically just like a big
Space.
star thing. I quite like that.
It's quite a fun one.
Strange reference.
It's
but
it's
interesting.
fun.
I feel
I mean, like, if you look
Yeah.
at like kind of all the science and religious texts there are, if you get rid of all the religious texts right now, in 1,000 years, you know, they would come back in different form, maybe the same way that we wrote them down now, or 1,000 years,
We can make
2,000
our
years
own.
ago.
We
We can make
could
our own. But if you like, if you take all the science textbooks and you delete them all, and then you do it 1,000 years later, they would be exactly the same,
More or less.
more or
Probably
less,
better.
because there is evidence for that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then again, maybe science is just a halfway to the knowledge. You know? We don't even know what 73% of the universe is made out of. How is science going to explain that? Is there a limit to science? Is there a limit to religion? Is there a limit
I
to?
think religion is
minds.
limited.
I do also believe
That's
that-
something we all
I
believe.
feel like there are points in religion that just aren't explained,
Yeah.
and it's like, why did this happen? They just go,
God.
God.
God,
God did it.
God did, and I feel like that's
And you're like, oh,
an
right,
excuse to not explore the things that we have not explored. Just because there is something that we cannot explain does not mean that there is not
Basically,
there is a God.
It's just, if I explain this to you, you'll realise that what I'm saying is not true. So I'm just going to tell you it happened because God did it.
Mm.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe he totally
But
does.
I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? It's kind of like maybe not. I mean,
we seem to be
we have-
becoming agnostics the more we
I
speak.
know.
Well, that's fine. We're allowed to do that.
Agnosticism. It's an interesting thing, especially the current world climate. You know, antagonisms versus antagonisms, protagonists.
I feel
Are
like
they
just
good?
throwing out words.
I am.
Just like him
Do you
and
know
Neely,
what you're
that's it.
saying?
I have no idea.
Go on, Jamie, talk about Marxism.
Marxism.
You don't need to talk about
The
Marxism.
blood of the bourgeois will flow.
This isn't the right episode
Sorry.
for Marxism.
Sorry, I apologise.
That's fine. It's
Get it away.
It's easy to set them off.
yeah. It is.
Please calm down.
Just take a chill.
Take a chill.
Relax.
Relax.
Do some meditation.
We're not here to tell you that you're wrong.
No.
Not that you're right either, because you're probably not.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe agnosticism.
Yeah. Always have the element of doubt.
Even
Element
though we've all
of
just
doubt.
said at the beginning
Is,
that we're
is
atheists.
there is there too much of an element of a doubt?
Oh, wait.
Can science be too doubtful?
I'm so confused.
Jamie's just saying words. Just for you listeners, I'd like to explain that Jamie has been out to the pub before.
He has been.
He started
We've
this.
been to the pub with him, and
We
after
have.
one pint,
Hey,
After one pint, he
there's
was
no
drunk.
need for this hateful language.
Is
This
that
is the
two-
rhetoric we
was
see
it-
in the
was it two
media,
beers,
and the
Jamie?
news. It's just not.
Jamie,
It's just,
was it 2 beers?
It was 2 cocktails.
Cocktails.
It's cocktails.
That explains.
But that's
everything.
not religion, man.
That is a.
This is not.
That's
This is
true.
not. You know that I'm an alcoholic. We don't know what religion has on our society. We need to talk about these issues.
Should we talk about that then? What impact does it have on our society? Do you think?
I think for that you got to go back to like.
Biblical
Was it
times.
Middle Age times? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
but the kind of time where it was like
Middle Ages.
you have to
used-
go to church.
Yeah, religion was
when
used to
church
control
will
the
whip you,
population.
kind of thing.
No, you got the religious texts that were manipulated in the Middle Ages to show the king was right, and so you got the divine right of the kings and the
It
blood,
was.
and then you've got the whole Henry VIII scenario, which you don't really.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a.
Back then was very kind
It
of.
was very controversial.
It was to like help people get what they want, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel when you look at it back then, it's really clear that that's why it was
Mm.
Yes.
a thing.
It was definitely.
Whereas
used as-
now, I'm not as sure.
It's like a source of hope, I guess.
I feel now it's less controlling than it would have been.
Yeah, it's
Because
lost
no one's
its
forcing
power.
you to anymore.
I guess
There's
it's
plenty of religions.
Well,
to
certainly
choose from.
here, anyway.
Where we are, yeah. Other places, of course, it's just as
Yeah.
bad and it's terrible.
This is terrible. Religion can
But for
lead to
kind
bad
of like
things.
first world,
Can also listen to good things.
we could choose whatever.
We can.
I could go follow Pastafarianism.
Rastafarianism is an interesting one because legally in America, in certain states, you can carry the marijuanas if you are a Rastafarian. I think it's in Italy as well. So if you claim it, you can legally carry drugs, and that's it's the kind of power
I
that
did not know
religion
that.
has in today's society, that you can carry illegal things. I mean,
There's,
I can't remember. This is me being a bit ignorante, but there's
Ignorant.
I can't remember if it's Hindus or Sikhs,
This is the one where you
but
get to
they
carry a little
can
knife.
they can carry a little knife.
Sikh,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it might be Sikh, yeah. But
It's
I
not a very
don't-
big knife, though.
It's not a very big knife.
It's
not
a
like
pocket knife size
It's like a little,
knife.
yeah. It's like a tiny knife, but it's there to kind of protect the religion at all costs as a last means necessary, which is interesting. How we've got these kind of little rituals around
Yeah. The cross of nails.
the cross of nails.
The cross at all.
That's all we got.
Mm.
It's not as good.
People finding signs of religious belief feels like bullshit. Just in my opinion.
People what?
Like finding Jesus in bread.
Yes,
I love
There are
those.
many
Those
rituals
are
that don't
brilliant.
make sense. That are kind of like, why are we doing this for? I mean, yeah.
Also, it seems like people are just looking for them. Such as even here in Coventry, the cathedral burning down and then them finding some charred bits of wood that have fallen over each other, and then they're going, "Oh, it's a cross! It must
It's
be
a
a sign
cross,
from
it's a
God."
sign from
Was it me
God.
and you who talk about a thing where people say someone's really ill? People will just pray.
Yes.
We can pray.
Yes.
And then when they get well because of medicine and like an organ transplant, they
I
go,
mean, that's the.
Oh,
God
pray
did
did it! Thank you, everyone, for praying.
it's like, no
Thank
problem.
My
I
problem's
saved this
yourself.
person.
I have gained a leg from your praying.
This is something I did.
Yes.
With,
Yes.
With our prayer.
Prayer
It was one Sunday in a church.
in a church.
There
Church.
was it was a cough church. Aid workers, I think, probably came in, and they were talking about the struggles in whatever it was, some African country or some such, and how they were going to help them, and that they were appealing to the people in the church for help. But they ended with, you can donate or show support, but pray.
But
If you
also
don't do
pray.
anything, just pray.
Pray.
And my thought was, what is that going to do?
I
Would
feel
even,
for
you know-
some people, that, in their opinion,
It's
totally
it's,
gonna help.
it's like a self.
But because of what we believe,
It's a nice thought, you know.
it's just like,
It's nice to think about people.
It's religious wanking. It's going, look at me, I'm praying for you, so I must be
Maybe.
great.
that is a term I've never heard
Never
before.
heard that, but it's an interesting concept because we are,
That's a,
you know,
a great term. Religious wanking.
Yeah,
It's a name one.
maybe offensive, but you
Just
know.
slightly.
that's fine.
Pluralism.
There we are, some media keywords for you there.
Hegemony.
Just don't mention Marxism.
No Marxism.
What do you think about the afterlife?
Do
Do you think there is one?
I feel like it's a good way to believe that if you lead a good life, then you will eventually have a good afterlife. But I just don't think it's possible.
I think with the afterlife thing, you have two. I know everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah.
But there's two main opinions that almost kind of are the opposite of each other. There's an afterlife. Afterlife. And it's going to be great when I go to that, so I'm going to live a very strict and useful life now. And then there's the people who don't believe in afterlife, so they're just like, hey, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
And then
You see,
be in a hole.
if that gives purpose to your life, though, surely you know.
I think it can be positive either way.
I
Yeah.
think it can be. My sister is a very deep Christian. She finds her meaning in God. I sat down at a restaurant once with her and said, I don't believe in God. I think it's silly that you believe in God. Very silly. She said, well, what am I supposed to do without God?
I think, yeah.
And I think I don't want to take that part away from her, because maybe she, that's her.
I think for some
her.
people, believing in
But,
God does, and like an afterlife, gives them a purpose
But
Yeah.
surely
to live.
if we can...
But for other people, they don't necessarily
Need
want
them.
a purpose.
No.
Like, not like, they don't want to have to,
Or they can
this
find
is why
their,
you exist.
they can find their purpose in other things.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's like, it's nice to have your purpose on earth, to worship a nice being and be the nicest person you can be. But if you can find meaning without that, then I think it's even better, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it ultimately doesn't matter if there's an afterlife. I've said this before to you. There's, at one time when I started having Facebook, there was a post. I think it was by Chloe Stewart.
Oh.
But it was some religious bullshit going, look, there must be an afterlife, because it was like a comic, and it showed 2 fetuses in a womb, and they were talking, going,
As they do.
yes, as they do.
You're right, Larry?
There's nothing
How's your
beyond
uterus
here.
today?
They're saying there's nothing beyond here, and probably something about the fetus gods
Yeah, no, I do
going,
remember you talking to me about this.
grr, there's no fetus god, how can there be any afterlife beyond what we know? But of course, the punchline, or whatever you want to call it, was, but they get born into this life, so there is something beyond it. But instead of convincing me that there was an
That mean there's an
afterlife,
afterlife.
and, yeah,
I just feel like it'd be if there was a God, it'd be nice to give you like a pre-afterlife, so
Is that just a life?
pre-birth life, to say, look,
Maybe there was.
you have
knowledge.
your your 80 years, or if you're a dirty, filthy mongrel, maybe 2 years.
2 years.
2 years on Earth, but you got to make
you
got to make the most of it.
Ill.
You got to make the most of it.
Anyway,
I think-
the point I was making.
Sorry, apologies.
The point I was making with the thing was, they get born, yes, of course, but you don't remember being in a womb. You don't remember being a fetus. You're a whole different state.
Your
You
life
go through a
starts
whole
at that
thing.
Don't
point.
remember yesterday.
Or
Yeah.
that's a
So-
completely different argument in itself. When life begins.
Yeah. But if you take those as 2 separate things, and then you apply that to us being the fetuses now, or feti, so I don't know, to them, and if there is an afterlife, then we're not going to remember this, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
What I
at
find
all
interesting, the idea of the
about what
afterlife.
happens.
Obviously, especially with Christianity, you have heaven and you have hell,
Yeah.
and it's
Or
kind of
purgatory.
like you have to believe in it to go to heaven. But I don't.
I don't
The
understand.
biggest
that.
thing I have, the biggest problem I have with Christianity is when people think that you would go to hell for not being Christian, because
Yeah.
what, like Gandhi,
Gandhi was a very nice man.
like is he gonna go to hell? Like
Was he Christian?
I don't think it was.
Then yes.
See, it doesn't make sense.
It's also
It's just
like,
not logical.
What I know that there are things in the world that are inexcusable. I'm talking about things such as rape and murder and other terrible things and vices. However, is that really worth punishment eternally? I mean, in
I
an
just
afterlife,
like to think it's levels of not as nice heaven.
Just not
like
as
you
nice
didn't get
heaven.
TV on that floor.
See, I think
I
I'd
think
have
TV's hell.
Well, maybe
TV
they're
maybe is
trapped into the TV.
media.
Whoa.
The media.
Is
The media
religion.
is hell. Or religion.
We pray to our neon gods on a daily basis.
We do.
I still don't understand what he means.
It
But
means we devote our time into our screens.
Media is
such
our new
as
religion.
is
How dare
explored
you.
in Neil Gaiman's book American Gods,
American.
which is coming out as a TV series at soon at some point,
Ooh.
which is cool. It's about Shadow, who's some lad, and the gods. And there's new gods and old gods. The old gods like Odin and other such characters. But they're sustained by prayer and belief and devotion and time. But the new gods are like technology. So there's an
Okay.
idea.
This is an
The
idea.
being sustained by belief just reminds me of
It
the
just
scene in Alf.
seems like every.
You can't fly a sleigh unless people
See,
believe in him.
More links with Santa.
It just yeah.
It's Santa Claus basically.
It does seem that every religion is eventually replaced by another religion or another deity or another being that we worship. I mean, first off, you mentioned Odin and Thor.
Yeah.
There were gods, and then eventually that kind of died off with the culture of that time, and then you have I don't know the timeline of his theology, but you had the Celtics, and they probably believed in a big ginger man. Then you had the Romans, who probably they believed in many gods, many gods.
That's probably my
And then-
favourite out of.
Yeah, and then you've
Out
got
of all of
Christianity
them. Out
now.
of all of them.
Christianity's not
Aztecs
that
as well,
old.
they have
Aztecs, sun gods. Was it ancient aliens? Who knows?
Who made the pyramids?
It's just a theory, an
Throwing in
opinion.
some conspiracy theories for you there.
Conspiracies. It just seems like every time
Bush
we
to
have a
Donald.
relapse, and it feels like in 1,000 years there's probably going to be a new god. Maybe all our Earth's resources are gone, and so we worship our water. Maybe we even worship life itself.
We just become hippies, basically.
We just become beautiful, loving,
butterfly.
flower-powered hippies.
Oh,
Religion
What a
is
lovely thought.
always replaced with more religion because each society has its own beliefs and
Yeah.
set of values.
You know,
So no matter what you do or where you go, there will be some form of religion,
yeah.
whether it's obvious like Christianity or something more subtle like technology now is basically a religion.
Yeah. It's interesting how we worship different things. I mean, I think I worship biscuits quite a lot.
Can you explain that?
Well,
Do you devote much of your time to
it's
biscuits?
got a whole
It's-
shrine dedicated.
yeah, I mean, we got the builders in at the moment. So, when the builders come in, you have that little place where you got all the teacups and the coffee and the mugs for the builders.
This is
There's
more
also like a
expensive
little
house
couple
than
of
I have.
biscuits there. And I nip in, and it's almost like a ritual now.
What
I
kind of
walk in the
biscuits do you
door.
get?
See, that's the problem, isn't it? My mum's brought bourbons. Who likes bourbons?
I love bourbons.
Bourbons are good.
Bourbons is like
I mean-
up there as some of the best.
They're
I
not
just-
great with tea, I don't think.
No,
No, but they're nice
But-
by themselves.
jam.
Jam?
It's like a sandwich, but a biscuit. It's like an
Okay,
extra
jammy
meal,
Dodgers.
isn't it? Jammy Dodgers.
Oh, I do.
My
I
nan,
like Jammy Dodgers.
She
as
was
well.
very old, bless her soul. Rest in peace, if you believe in the afterlife.
I mean, she can
You know,
still
she could still
like,
be up there,
She might be
looking
listening
down.
to us right now.
not
But
being dug up.
she
by-
went to Tesco's and she thought they were called Jamie Dodgers because that was my name. And she would ask all the people, like, "Can I have some Jamie Dodgers, please?" And they were like, "We don't sell Jamie Dodgers.
That-
We have Jammy Dodgers."
That's
And we're
one
like,
of the
"No,
best
it's Jamie."
stories.
Could they not tell that she meant jam?
Sponsored by Blue Tack.
What are you on about, Jamie?
There's a decent blob over there actually.
Blue Tack. Is it our new religion? You know.
He's going off on one, Joseph. Wait a
Stop.
minute.
Blue Tack.
stop.
Stopping. Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Next bit. Fate. Do we believe in fate?
Fate.
Or, like, destiny?
Religious fate or fate?
Just-
I
Just-
don't.
Like,
I
a personal fate?
Again, I believe it's just one of these constructions that we've built up in society, and I don't want to.
But do you believe you
post-structuralist,
have
but, like-
a purpose?
No, I'm still finding my purpose, man. You know,
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you've
I-
found it yet.
I don't necessarily
I don't
believe that you
think
have to
we're,
live
like,
a life with a purpose.
Predestined.
I don't think we designated a purpose.
No.
I think it's very much you.
You choose and make
You
your
choose what you're going to do with your life.
I
You can
watched-
achieve whatever you want within reason.
I
Yeah.
watched this very interesting
And-
film called Arrival yesterday, and she learns from aliens how to live time as a kind of a non-linear thing, so she could jump back and forth to the future and the past.
That would be cool.
But it
always
also
said if I could
determined
have a
how she
superhero,
lived
it would
her
be that.
life, but she almost didn't have control of it. And she had a baby, which she knew she was going to die at 8 years old because of a rare disease. But she went with it anyway because she knows that 8 years was going to be really good.
Mm.
And even though she was going to split up from her husband, that predetermined fate was good enough for her.
Okay.
But maybe that's just, we're not all going to have good lives,
No.
Maybe,
I'd hope we have.
we
Fairly
have a
decent
good
ones.
time every
Well,
now and again.
Just enjoy ourselves.
Enjoy life.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it so
Take
far.
anything
It's
away
been
from
alright.
this.
What about free will? Do you believe in free will? Does that kind of relate to?
I have a problem
predestined
with the free will argument, especially from a religious point of view, because if God created the world, it's almost there's this famous argument called the chessboard argument. If God created the chessboard, then we're still pawns and pieces where we can only move in certain directions because of the way we were born in society and class and religion and colour and race and culture. So technically we don't have predetermined faith, determinedness and free will. I don't have the choice to be born in Africa or Australia or
No.
if I had a choice, I'd be an Eskimo. Because they don't.
I got Australia.
Australia's pretty cool. It's quite hot.
Switzerland's nice.
Switzerland's, they're neutral.
New Zealand.
Neutralness. Cheese.
Is this everything you know about Switzerland?
Yeah. Tax evasion.
Cows. Just cows.
Cows,
Chocolate.
hills.
You were saying something else. I can't remember what it was.
Free will.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Chessboard. It's an interesting one. Again, it just kind of depends on if you believe you have complete free will. If I had complete free will right now, I would fly in the air like the Red Bull advert, and I would have many Jamie Dodgers.
I
Or
think,
Jamie Dodgers.
Jamie
from
Dodgers.
what he's just said, I'm glad we don't have that much free will.
I know. It's,
People flying everywhere.
if you know,
We'll be hitting
people
aeroplanes,
say
it's
that
terrible.
it's not a good world because we have free will, but because God gave it that to us. But do you think that maybe perhaps it would be better if we didn't have free will and we did live a good world? Is that a price we have to? Is goodness?
But then that's like...
Is evil the price we have to pay for free will?
Yeah.
I mean, if God is all knowing and all loving, then surely He could find a way, man, to to do both. I mean, I feel like if there was no national borders, if there was no sexuality, if there was no death, if there was no...
It would be very overcrowded.
There'd be way too many people if there was no death.
But we could
Well,
have
there'd
a
still be
bigger planet. I
dinosaurs.
mean, why did God give us such a rubbish planet, man?
Mate, this
I mean,
planet's-
like, it's
it's
not even
good.
like global warming proof, man. Come on now. It's again, I guess it's just your faith to believe in something that we don't know.
Think that made sense?
Via Joseph just...
And I guess
put their
there's no
faces into the light.
conclusion.
What?
There's no conclusion because we don't bloody know.
He's right there.
But we can make a good guesstimate, and I think
feel that's
science
our main point,
can answer
is we
questions
don't know.
that we don't know, and I feel like religion shouldn't inhibit that, and people who try and inhibit
There's
that.
someone, me and Fraser know, that doesn't believe in evolution.
Evolution.
Yes! We
I
had a
mean,
whole
I
conversation with
spent
him for like an hour. We were at a party.
talking to him about it.
It was one of the greatest things. I
it's like
mostly didn't pay much attention.
it's this thing about global change, global warming as well, and it kind of seems like an excuse. Maybe people don't actually believe that they're just doing it for their own methods and their own gains, but they use religion as an excuse for things like homosexuality, that it's evil and all this horrible rhetoric, and it's just like, well, God taught us to be all loving. If
Did
you
he believe that God did create
I think
the world?
he believed God created the world as it is now
Yeah.
and buried
Yeah, no,
dinosaur
that's
bones
it.
to trick us.
Because he doesn't believe in
Really?
evolution. And we were like,
So
but
that's not a good God.
dinosaurs. That was our one
A
point.
good God would
Every
be
time he
like-
spoke, we went, but dinosaurs. And he was crazy.
It was an interesting
It
conversation.
was I enjoyed it. It was quite funny.
It's like things like the Noah's Ark, like
He got bored and killed all the dinosaurs.
don't- I
bored
feel
and killed
Noah's
everyone
Ark.
because he was evil. And scientists, man, they
What are
recreated
you
the
shouting
best
about?
the best shipbuilders in the world. In China, it was. They built a wooden ship, and it twisted and it turned. And there's a physical boundary that we can't make ships that big because they were twisting
Jamie
and
just
turn,
busted
and then they
Noah
would
in his ark.
sink. And
Boom.
Boom.
the Grand Canyon, people think that was a giant plug
What?
for the Noah's Ark, but that's just not
When
true.
has anyone said that?
I watched this thing with Bill Nye. If you want some good atheism, check out these mandems.
That's one of
Bill
the best
Nye,
things I think I've ever heard.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
The Grand Canyon was a plug.
It was a giant plug. Russell Brand has some
We've gone
insightful
back into the
things for
conspiracy
religion.
theories again.
But I guess it's just education, man.
Yeah.
Just learn. Take your own opinion from it.
The Christianity. What do we think about Judas? Is he a lad?
See that?
I don't
Did
think.
he go to London?
I don't think
I
that
always quite like Judas.
Judas is
I think.
But that's because I was raised with Jesus Christ Superstar. And Judas is the main character in that. And
I've
he's
never
betrayed.
watched it.
It's good. It's good fun. But
Have you pulled apart my? You just pulled apart my cross and nails.
what? That's a symbol.
I'm sorry, I was just deconstructing the
You
meaning.
monster! I can't believe you've
For
done
those
that.
who can't see
Here is
through
a sign
microphones,
of-
we have these little crosses
I
around the
don't
room.
even know.
And,
He's killed my cross.
I killed his cross.
He's pulled it
I was
apart.
deconstructing the cross of nails.
I'm so sad.
It's some nails.
I'm like,
Some nails. It's just some nails. It's just
not
some
just
metal.
some
It's
nails,
just some
Jay.
atoms.
Some wire
What
and
are
flame.
atoms made of?
Atom.
what?
Atoms are just like
Where are
just
you
like-
going with this?
religion,
Radio
man.
Joseph.
Um,
I'm gonna try and reassemble
the cross of nails.
the cross of nails that
Jesus.
Jamie's-
made.
Should we have some kind of final points?
Okay. Final thoughts on
Jamie's
religion.
a cross killer.
What's your final thought?
That's such a big question.
Okay.
Can I come back to you on that?
Okay, Jamie, what's your
I
final thought?
feel like everybody has the right and to believe in what they want to believe. But if you were born in the Middle East, it's more likely you're going to be Muslim. If you were born in America, it's very likely you're going to be a Christian. If you were born in Russia, again, probably Christian, unless you was born in Stalin times. And he was like, oh, religion's bad, purge, purge, purge. China, you know, they have their own gods and things. Buddhism's a thing. You can believe in that if you want.
This is a
But
long
just-
final point.
Just
I
don't
should have just
stop
gone.
people from doing their thing because a text that is polysemic is meaning.
Thank you, Jamie.
I was really liking where that was going,
I forgot.
then it-
and then the last
I
word
forgot.
didn't make sense.
Forgot myself.
Back to you, Fraser. Final
Um,
point. Or thought.
Can I have my wire back, please?
So,
Part of my cross that he's destroyed.
it is. Final
Um,
thought.
religion. I think it has its. I think it all comes down to the kind of person you are. It can, if you're the kind of person who wants a certain purpose, a certain set of rules, kind of to fit in with the community, then religion is totally a way of doing all of that. But then, if you don't
Bog
follow a
off.
religion. No, don't. Just kind of.
Don't bog off.
If you
Stay,
don't enjoy
subscribe.
what they've said,
Like, comment.
don't be
Share.
part of that religion. Do what you want. You do you.
Buddy,
Yeah.
bro,
Buddy.
you do
Bro.
you, boo.
There we go. That's my
Guess
word.
just be a nice person. Don't be a beep. Just
Why have you? I mean,
you know,
Joseph Swan for
just-
earlier on in this.
I have. I
Choose-
said wanker.
choose what you want to
said other
believe.
things.
Just
You
be
did
nice
say that.
about it. Be including.
He's
Follow.
going again, Joseph.
You know?
Okay, you can stop now, Jamie.
Okay. Okay. Just
Anyway,
be nice.
thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you.
All gals.
I hope you
Or
enjoy.
Evers.
Be gender fluid.
Gender fluid.
Fluidity.
Thank you for listening to Middle Table Talks. This is now the outro. Outro. Yeah.
Guys, just closing the door.
Yeah, because it's the outro.
Go, 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 go.